What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome to Grown Folks. Welcome to Shut Up When Grown Folks Are Talking. It's your host, DJ Dougie Fresh Kicks, a.k.a. Bread Money. What's up, everybody? Wow, what a weekend. What a great night for the UFC. We had Islam Makhachev defending his belt against Ian Gary. It kind of went exactly how I thought it was going to go. If you've seen my video, you see I had Islam winning in the first, maybe second round. He did hurt him, but he didn't put him away. I thought that Ian Gary did an incredible job, though. I mean, my hat is off to that Irishman or Brazilian or whatever he is. When he started speaking Brazilian, I was almost confused because I had seen a clip earlier that had called him the Brazilian Irishman. And now I know why. He trains with a lot of the shooter box, Anderson Silva, Damian Myers. He's always with those guys in training, but he couldn't escape the alligator clasp of Islam. Once he gets his hands locked around you, it's hard to do anything. But the fight for me was frustrating because I felt like if Ian Gary would have just put on the gangster face, if you're a fighter, you can't be wanting to hug and shake hands. You got to go out in that fifth round and try to kill that man. I think that's going to be his downfall. Is some people are fighters as far as they look at it like a sport, and then you got people like Jorge Masvidal who will just give you a 3-piece and a soda on spot, on site. They ain't afraid to get dirty. I think Ian Gary, well, he is a very good representative of the UFC as far as a company man how you should handle yourself. But I think he takes it a little bit to the extreme, if you ask me. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments. And if you're just joining us, give me a like and give me a subscribe. This is what you're getting. This is what I'm starting out. We're somewhat into this month, and what I got planned is I've been using a lot of different things, testing a lot of ideas, but this idea I think works the greatest. For me, I'm going to do 5 shorts a day, and I'm going to bring you a couple long form videos each week on several different topics. I know people always talk about, yo, man, you got to stay in your niche, whatever it is. I'm like, well, that's impossible because I do a variety show. It's a variety of different things. I tell you what's on my mind, and the thing is I want you guys to start participating. I don't know what I got to do. I've tried giving away boots. Nobody wanted them. I tried giving away cards that were worth hundreds of dollars. Nobody wanted them. I've tried all I could do. I need some ideas from you, my subscribers, to tell me what's going to get you guys kicked off to start, commenting more, watching my videos more, and growing this channel. Because that's what we want to we're leading a revolution here. And the revolution is, for one, is I'm tired of the way that we are heading in the road that we're heading down. So I'm putting on the brakes and I'm saying, look, I want to look at things through every lens. I want to look at through someone who's black. I want to feel what they're feeling. I know I won't be able to feel it because only black people know what it's like to feel hurt by some words or to have their history being told to them and that they were slaves. But at some point, we all have to move on, pull up our bootstraps, and go to work. And it's time for us to go to work. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So we're going to talk about some news that's going to give you the blues. I want you guys to stay with me. Let people know about Grown Folks, kind of get the name out there. But we were just talking earlier about Dearborn. On the 18th, they have this big thing. It's all over the news. And they're talking about a lot of people from Sturgis going down there and maybe letting their voice be heard of how they feel about it. They don't feel like you should come to America because it's a privilege coming to America, being let in the door, and then trying to change our culture, our ideology, our, freedom of religion and all this stuff. Because I believe next to Christianity, the Muslim religion is one of the fastest growing phenomenons. Now, trust me, when I was in the penitentiary, I studied it and none of it made sense to me. The only thing that made sense to me is the part that they want to control you. They want the man to be the head of the household. They definitely don't want any gay people in their congregation. And one person had said that, well, all these Christians are letting in these gay people because straight people don't go to church anymore. And that's why they're mad at us, is because they're jealous. Listen, I don't go to church because that's not my thing. I have a personal relationship with God and I'm doing just fine with that. I don't need to sit next to somebody else, right? And then especially when I'm not comfortable preaching what you're talking. You know what I mean? If I'm not 100% in line with what you're saying, I'm the type of person that'll be like, hey, wait a minute here. No, 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 no. No, the Bible clearly says that in Leviticus, it says that a man should not lay down with another man. But people can argue that point to death. I feel like it was divine intervention that the Lord blessed me with 2 daughters, and both daughters are gay. So how is a man who grew up hating homosexuals, done bad things? I felt like almost like the Apostle Paul, because when I was growing up, I used to roll them down in there was a gay bar called the Carousel back in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where I grew up. And I'd wait till, 1, 2 in the morning. We'd be out there. I used to have a fake lighter that looked like a handgun. I wrapped with black duct tape, made it look almost real, right? So I'd wait for him to come out and be like, freeze, give me all you got, and they'd empty the pockets, it'd be like 50, $60. And we'd go from different spot to different spot, just sticking people up. I was young. I remember one night, I was kind of off and a big giant guy came out. He must have been, I don't know, me, I'm 5'4", right? And back then I was soaking wet, about 130 pounds. So he come out, he had to been over 6 foot tall, probably 250, but he had his shirt unbuttoned and he was real queer acting. And as soon as I told him, freeze, give me your shit, he went, boom, and he smacked that gun. I swear it must have went 50 yards. Woo, 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 woo. And then he just jumped on me. And this guy's on top of me, slobbering and trying to kill me. And I'm like, yo, I'm with people. I was with 2 other guys, and they're just like looking at this guy like they can't believe that he just did this. I'm like, get this dude off of me. Finally, we're fighting. I'm 130 pounds. He's 250. So you can see how it's going. He's kicking the shit out of me. I mean, it's a story I tell a lot and it's pretty funny, but the moral of that whole story is, I shouldn't have been down there. Shouldn't have been doing that. So later on in life, what happens to me, like I said, is kind of divine intervention, because God wanted to open my eyes. So he sent me 2 homosexual daughters. Now, can you believe that to be true? Or do you believe that it's just maybe the devil's work? I don't know. And I've read into it, and I know the Bible doesn't say anything specifically about it, but it does have verses that are closely resemble that it's an abomination and all these other things. But it's all how you interpret it. Obviously, the Muslim religion, they don't like it. They just threw somebody off of a building because they were homosexual in Iraq. They're killing a lot of people all over the country in the name of religion. So it's something that is just baffling to me to begin with. But the biggest thing about it is we as a society need to learn how to overcome all this stuff. So what's going on in Dearborn, Michigan is we have the Arabic community and the Muslim community have moved in and made it a tight-knit, quiet place. They've elected a sheriff who's Muslim. The police station, I mean, the sign it says police, and then underneath it says police in Arabic. So if you go there, a lot of people don't even speak English. So what is the criteria could you ask the Supreme Court to say, look, we need to take a look at this? Why are they turning that particular town into a small community? Like, it's like if you escape that and you left and you fled to come to America for a better life, to basically acclimate to our laws, our our style, the American way, right? Freedom, justice, and the American way, that whole thing. And then isn't it kind of poignant to just do something so drastic like elect sheriffs and start changing our values there? So now people flood there in droves because it's like, oh my God, they get there and it's like, oh, we're back. We're back in, Iraq, and we're back in wherever you came from. They've turned it into home. And I think that there's something wrong with that. I mean, let me know if I'm off on this, but I think people who are fed up with that type of stuff, you're seeing it in New York right now, where the arm of the Muslim Brotherhood, they're kind of starting this whole rebellion. There's people on tape saying that they wish that the whole world would be succumb to the religion and Sharia law be implemented in the United States. And they try to sugarcoat it. They try to say, well, don't say Sharia law because that is bad. Everyone that looks at Sharia law understands it's bad. It's Quran law. Well, I'm here to tell you right now that I'm saying fuck the Quran and fuck your religion and fuck everything that you got going on in Dearborn. We're about to tear that shit down. And if you ain't with that, then don't be here. Then you're in the wrong spot, because I'm for freedom, democracy, and the right to say what the hell I want to say. And anybody disagrees, then I'm okay with losing every follower that ain't in line with freedom and democracy and the American way. I'm trying to restore our quality of life and to try to and make people accountable for what they're doing. You said you took an oath to come to America to try to assimilate to our ways. That means learn to speak English, learn to read English. These people can't even read English or say even something in English and have driver's license. Tell me that. So you know what they're doing? They give them the driver's test in their native tongue. It is just blowing me away. I think the Muslim religion will be the downfall of society. And the only way that we're going to stop it from spreading is we have to go chop the head off of the snake. We have to go to the source. We can't, all these soldiers that they have are just peons. It's like playing chess. They're just pawns. Once you get to your rooks, your knights, and your bishops, you'll get to the queen, you'll get to the king, and that's where you need to be. You need to stop, and we need to just pass a law that says any type of radical religion will not be tolerated. And that means you can't practice any radical religion. We have to start cracking down on these crackers, because we can't look at ourselves in the mirror and say this is okay. And if you can look yourself in the mirror and think this is okay, then you're part of the problem. If you're part of the problem, then we're the solution, so you're going to get in our way, and I advise you not to get in our way on it. Like I said, I would never take a stance politically as far as left or right, because this issue is bigger than that. This is America. Now, when we think of America, what do we think? We don't think of people waving their Muslim flags around and their Muslim ideology poisoning our way of life. Now, imagine if we went to their country and tried to do that there. What do you think would happen to us? We would be killed. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Now, I'm not telling anyone to go do anything violent. I'm saying we need reforms. We need to reach out to people who are important, and we need to try to get these laws changed, because this is a terrible situation that we're under right now with these people, and Sharia law is being practiced in the United States. There's been proof of it. And people who don't understand that, you need to read up on it. Just go to YouTube and punch in Dearborn, Michigan and look at it. It is crazy. It's like being in a third world country, and it makes me so angry. But I will not tolerate it anymore. Now, let's get one thing absolutely clear. The Muslim religion is fine if you want to practice it without all the hostility, and that's your religion. I'm not going to stop anyone from praying to their God of what they believe, right? But if that is a hostile God, and your main goal is the 100-year brotherhood plan, which is to destroy the West, that's destroy us, destroy the infidels, and we are the infidels because we're the Christians. We believe the opposite. So there is a holy war coming, people. It may not be it may not start tomorrow, and it may not start next week, but it is coming. It is, I guarantee you that this war is coming. At first, we all thought that this was going to be a civil war, and it was going to be mainly blacks and whites, left versus right. But at the end of the day, left must come back to right to fight the evil that has spread amongst us. While we've been fighting, growing our kids up to be stuck on an Xbox, sucking a lollipop, talking about being trans at the age of 8 years old is nonsense. No kid in the world can make up their mind on that. While we've been debating and sitting around all this time, they have begun to overtake America. And it starts at the hub, and that is Dearborn, Michigan. The next is New York. We have Zohran Mamdani. Luckily, this Francesca Hong lady who had these crazy dreams of doing all these things to American society, she was defeated. But I guarantee you we have a big fight coming on our hands right now with Abdul. I mean, Abdul is on record saying he hated Mackinac Island because he hates it, because you know what Mackinac Island represents? It represents the American way, the American dream. It's like a Norman Rockwell painting. Everyone look at it. I mean, you go there, it's a beautiful place. Who wouldn't want to ride around a town with no cars, nobody screaming and yelling, nobody doing drugs, nobody hurting anyone, and just ride through and see beautiful colonial buildings, Try the Mackinac Island fudge. It's world famous. They send that stuff out to everyone around the world. It's delicious. They got stores, retail. They got a great bar. You can go have a drink, sit on one of the biggest porches ever. It's a destination that thousands of people go to. You got to get there through ferry. You go there on a ferry, you go there through the day with your family. You have a great time. Whoever hates that place has a screw loose. And I'm not saying that everything he says is bad. And I just wish I could just help you guys understand that it's not every Muslim that I have a problem with, because some of my Muslim friends, I'm like, yeah, man, I understand how you feel. I give you all the credit for sticking up for your religion. I think you have every right to practice it, as long as it doesn't become hostile. If I said that I'm a Christian man and I'm forcing Christianity on everyone else, right? And I'm telling you how to live your life, and I'm telling you have to do this or that. No, you have the freedom to worship however you want. But I'm talking about the hostilities, the plans, the backdooring, the moving in, the not, when you took an oath to become an American, you said, nah, screw that. I'm going to become Hamas. There's a guy with Hamas written on his arm, and the guy's videoing him, and he's like, so what's the Hamas on your arm for? Because Hamas, what they've done. They're calling for another October 7th. They're talking all this stuff, and that's when the Muslim religion becomes radicalized. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm not talking about the peaceful Muslim people who practice their religion and still have acclimated to America. They've learned to speak English. They've learned to, they go to their mosque, they pray, they live their life. They're fine, great people. I don't have any problem with that. What I have a problem with is the warriors who are trying to destroy America. the radical, the infidel, the destroyers of Christianity, the people we are at a silent war with. I hope you guys can understand that, because I'm not saying that all Muslim people are bad. I'm saying that the ones who are creating this atmosphere, like, we have to stand up for ourselves now. We have to take a long look at it, and we have to start uniting. We deal with a lot of hate in America just between black and white. I mean, if we're too busy hating each other because of the color of somebody's skin, imagine what would happen if a Muslim man was elected into the presidency and he changed all these rules. And then there was enough of them that would change everything. We might as well just give it up. We might as well say America is lost, and you'll have no America. Your grandkids, you might as well just, don't even bother with it, because they won't have an America left. There will be no America left if we continue to let them just appropriate all these things that they're doing. They're taking over things slowly. Even in my small town that I live in, they bought the liquor stores, they bought the gas stations, they bought the hotels. You wouldn't believe what the federal government is doing for these people. They give them $50,000 for coming over. Then they marry their brothers, their sisters, their uncles. And then every 5 years, they change it over to the next person. I'm telling you, I have an inside scoop on it. My wife, she worked at a hotel. It was like one of those Super 8 hotels, right? She worked there cleaning rooms. The guy is an Indian guy. And now, same thing, they got to do all these, they have these radical religions. So it's not just the Arabics and that, it's the Indians too. So what they're doing is they're asking white people, hey, I have a cousin who is in India. You marry him, I give you $10,000. So what we were offered that she marries the guy. He comes over. They have to live together for a year, and then she'll get the $10,000. I went up to him and I said, "Did you ask my wife that?" And he's like, "No, you don't, brother. You don't understand, brother." I'm like, you crossed the line, man, and I'm no longer going to let her work here. I didn't go to the police or anything, because I wanted to just let him stew on it and think about me. I wanted him to know that I am here. I'm out here. Just because you don't see me on the news, you don't see me singing this type of tune, and this, that, and the third, watch. Keep your eyes open, because I'm always around. I'm always looking. I'm a psychological person who just will soak in everything. And when my time is right, you'll know who I am. You will know who I am. So this isn't to try to scare anybody or trying to put anybody in any type of danger, because I would never do that. And I love my communities, and that's the reason why I'm speaking out today. And I hope that everything that I say today doesn't hurt everybody's feelings. I know people's feelings get hurt with everything. I mean, you can block me, you can do whatever you want, but you cannot kill this movement. This is a movement to save America. President Trump is trying to save America with the Save America Act, and we must do the same now by voting these Muslim leaders out of political office. Mandami is going to be the first one to fall. And if I tell you what, if another one comes in, it's just going to be worse. So we can't let Abdul, I drive around my own town and I see signs for Abdul, and it just makes me angry, and I look further and I see Iraqi flags flying and all this other stuff. And if it's got this far, we've let it go too far. So what do we do about it? How do we fix it? That's the big thing. Is I want to know from y'all is, how do we fix this problem with this radical religion coming in trying to take over America? It is probably, I don't know, this Muslim Brotherhood signed this thing in 91. So it's 24 years into its original phase, right? So I'm sure they're starting phase 2 of it, where they're starting to get the religious leaders and the politicians appointed in high places. So here we go. We're in phase 2. Are we going to let it get to phase 3, where maybe one of them wins the presidency or the vice presidency? I think you should be alarmed, people. I don't think this is some type of hate speech, because this is just how I feel about it. But like I said, I want everybody to be peaceful. I'm not calling for anyone to do anything bad, like don't be taking up arms and hurt people. We need to get them out of here the proper way. And that is, if they're practicing a radicalized religion, they got to go. There's zero tolerance in America, and we'll take it to the Supreme Court, and we'll have a law made where any radical, excuse me, where any radical religion will be you'll be instantly jailed, processed, and put for immediate removal. So that's what I'm talking about. So I've been waiting for my other computer to update here for a while, but it seems like it's taking forever. So we're going to have to switch gears here. That was just my opening monologue. I wanted to talk about how I was feeling today, and boy, did I rant on that one. So whether you like it or whether you don't, let me know in the comments how you feel about it, how to make you feel. Do you believe what I'm saying is true, or do you have another ideas? Because sometimes, in my head, I do start thinking the wrong things. Like I said, I do have a lot of mental health issues that I deal with every day. So a lot of times I get stuck on something and I don't have anyone to talk to about it to change my mind. So if you want to try to change my mind and make me think differently and tell me that this whole thing is okay and prove to me that we have nothing to worry about as a civilized society in America, that they're not trying to take over, they're not trying to make me start learning Muslim type of things and all this other stuff, then I'd love to listen to it. So you know who I am, where I'm at. Go ahead and inbox me if you want, or you can just comment however you'd like. If you are one of those radical Muslim jihadists, Hamas people who are living in America right now, you want to have a solid conversation with me, I'd love to have you on the show. Please go on ahead and let me know. We will make it happen this week. I'd like to talk to a whole group of you if possible. So set it up. Let's go. I got a lot of questions to ask, and we'll set the record straight. Because if I'm wrong, I'm the type of person who will stand up and promptly admit it. But I've done the research. Like I said, I don't see any other way out besides getting to the Supreme Court and getting to Congress and making laws to stop this stuff. Stop this from happening. Put a law that there shall be no Arabic writings on the walls unless it's in your own church. So you can get away with it in church because you're covered by the Constitution, but you can't get away with it by putting it in society. If your storefront has Arabic languages in it, it's got to come down. You understand? If it's over a certain diameter, then it means that it's not in English. It's got to come down. Every storefront has to be in English. That goes for Mexicans too. No more of this a la campo, blah 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 blah. You're coming into America, you can't speak English. Look, you better get you some hooked on phonics, because we're tired of this whole thing. If you're bilingual, that's great. At least you can, if you can just get by, that's even great, because it should be a learning process. I'm not expecting everyone that comes to America to pick up English right away. But if you've been here for 25 years and you don't know English, then that means you don't want to learn English. And you're living in a world where we have all these other foreign people. And I can understand this thing of like, oh, well, you're a foreigner. You came from, no. No, I've looked back to my heritage, and we were settlers. We came to this land and we settled it, So all these properties and everything else, we're the ones that were on the wagons and went west and settled all these things. Some of us stayed behind in where my family comes from is Indiana. Um, and a lot of us went out west in the Great Migration West for a better life because it was, during we came over during, I think it was the 20s and 30s. So I have documentation, we're Eastern European, Irish, things of that nature. So I don't know. It's not like we just came over yesterday. My family have been in America, but we've always been um the north part of America. We've never owned slaves because we were too damn poor of people. Sharecroppers and farmers basically is what we were. The first rich person that was even recorded in my family, he owned a furniture company in Indiana, and that's how they made money, but not a lot of money. So there's nobody with the name Weibel who is so well off that I can look to like, hey, yeah, I got generational wealth and all this stuff. No, I don't. I'm just as poor as the next person. You know, so I'm gonna stop saying too. That's one thing that's been bugging me lately is when I find myself floating and I'm just trying to talk, I always try to use this phrase, like this word, and it bothers me, but it'll all get cut out. You probably won't even hear it unless you watch the whole stream. But yeah, let's get to some news that'll give you the blues. Anyway, I just want to say I hope everybody's happy. Day to day, we're gonna go through a few things. We're going to talk about some things, and hopefully we'll have a good stream. So if you like it so far, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to Shut Up and Grown Folks Are Talking. I'm going to talk about some giveaways I got coming. I'm bringing back, I got about 4 pairs of boots left. I got a size 8 for a woman. I got a size and a couple of size 10s. I think I might have a size 9. All the black and brown boots. I'm going to show you guys. So these are going to be the brown ones. Oh, Jesus. Hold on here. Where you got some? Lost some background for a minute. But anyhow, let's show you these boots. So here you go. These are army boots. This is the light tan pair. I think this is the size 10. You can check it out. Never been worn. It's been sitting here down on the floor, but I haven't found anybody that's giving me their address to mail it. But I'm picking I'll be I'll be picking people who are subscribers soon to send them out. This is a black pair. I think this is also a size 10 maybe, but I have a couple other ones over there. But these are the 2 styles. So if you like these, let me try to get a better picture. If you like these boots, you like the way they look, um, I need you guys to go to my Facebook, follow me on Facebook, and on my Facebook, DM me your address. Every subscriber, I want to mail out free cards. And this is what I'm talking about. I have cards here like I have Coca-Cola cards. It's Alabama's finest. I mean, all these cards here. This is a Stickums, a Joe Smith. I have looks like Clyde Drexler and a Fleer Ultra 1992-93. This is a Reggie White 1990 Pro Set. Here's a Michael Jordan Catch 23. This is a gridiron. This is a thick card, but this is Derrick Henry. And this is the Tennessee Titan, Derrick Henry. This is a gridiron card, and it's number, I don't know exactly. I can't see the number, but it's not in bad condition. It's got to be worth something. It's not probably one that I'd get graded, but like I'm saying, there's hundreds of these. Like here's a Barkley. Um, Here's a good one that's probably going to rate out to be a 10 out of 10 because I don't see anything wrong with this. But this is a young John Elway card. I would have to look these up. I haven't looked them up in a long time. I'm going to say quite a long time. So that's not something that I'm going to do. I'm just going to randomly be sending them out to you. So the people who tell me, give me a description of what your favorite teams are and who your favorite player is, and I'll try to get that as close as I can to you. But every subscriber, I need you guys to DM me, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, X. If it's just one, that's fine. But I need your address to send the stuff out to you. And it ain't nothing, I ain't trying to do anything weird like keep your address and nothing like that. I mean, it's just your address. I'm not asking for your phone number or anything like that or any information. I'm not a scammer. I just have a channel and I want to pay back by giving I'm giving my whole collection away basically. So little by little, I'm going to send it out to all my subscribers. So people who haven't subscribed yet, you have a chance to not only get on board to win the boots that I just showed, but you also have a chance to win the cards as well. There's some cards in there that are worth $500 ungraded. And I'm telling you, if you got them graded and they graded, a 9 or higher, you're looking at thousands of dollars. So why not take the chance? It's just your address. I mean, you give out your address all the time when you call a pizza man. You give out your address when you call somebody for DoorDash. So I'm no different. I'm not trying to hurt anyone, and I could care less where you live. I keep to myself. I'm by myself. I do things by myself. I'm not out to get anyone. I'm just trying to help you by giving back and showing my appreciation. So that's all this is about. So I want you guys to do that. Go ahead, hit me up on Facebook with your address. Let me know who your favorite player is and your favorite teams. I'll try to get them out to you. I got envelope stamps ready to go. All I got to do is throw them in an envelope and boom. And so what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to blow this up a little bit. So let your people know, let your families know, let your friends know that Grown Folks is an up-and-coming show that they should check out and watch. You never know. Somebody might get something out of it, and it could change it. It could change your life. Like I said, there was a time in my life where I was struggling. I spent my whole 40s pretty much in a bottle, drunk, wasted all the time, in and out of the hospital for pancreatitis and things like that. And I finally just one day I said, you know what? I'm done. And God led me to do this podcast. So I feel like this is something that I was born to do. This is what makes me happy. And I want to just bring you guys the facts. I want to help America with this podcast. I want to spread the gospel and the truth. And the truth is that, yes, we are under some attack by this radical religion, this Muslim religion, and the people that practice it. Because some are peaceful, and I'm not talking about you. If you're peaceful, you're minding your own business, then I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people who are trying to radicalize people and trying to change our country. And that's the final word. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So peace, love, and gratitude to everyone who's still here, still with me, still rocking it. We're going to get to the news soon. That's going to give you the blues. But starting out, I got some sad news. Tommy John's. You ever heard of Tommy John's or somebody talking about getting Tommy John surgery? Well, the MLB legend Tommy John is dead at 83. R.I.P. Tommy John. Tommy John, the MLB icon whose groundbreaking comeback helped give his name to one of the baseball's most famous surgeries, has died at 83. John passed away peacefully at his home in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, surrounded by his wife, Cheryl, and family. According to a statement released by his agent, Mike McGuire. That'd been funny if it was Mark McGuire. All right, we're going to leave that whole thing. It doesn't look like we could do both, so that just happens sometimes. So don't mind the my effect not being on. But the news comes just days after we reported John was in hospice care at his Florida home and had shared an emotional farewell message with his fans. I'm going to read you the message. Okay, we're going to have to switch glasses for that one, it looks like. All right. All right, I want to thank the Yankees organization, the Steinbrenner family for giving me this opportunity to say goodbye to everyone, along with all the friends and fans who follow me through my 26-year career. Thanks, Dr. Job, who saved my arm and made it possible for me to continue pitching. That surgery has since gone on to save the careers of countless pitchers, including many of the very best in the game today. Thank you to all the fans who supported me and my teammates for the 26 years. I will never forget you. The day I left for my first job as a pitcher, my father looked at me and he said, "Good luck, Tommy. I just remember one thing, whether you make it in the big time or the big leagues, you don't, and you'll always just be Tommy John from Terre Haute, Indiana." I'll never forget those words. Thank you and God bless. Yes, those are some very touching words. Looks like he was a stand-up guy who will be missed greatly. That's Tommy John, dead at 83. So let's click that back. Oh, we're getting kind of messed up here. All right. So yeah, it's too bad. He's definitely going to be missed. So as we're here, we're kind of all over the place right now. My goodness. Oh my God. That's not gonna work. What the heck? Okay, just trying to punch some stuff in here. Okay, cancel. I don't think we're gonna do that right now. Hopefully I can get out of that without doing that. I don't want to sign in. No. Fuck you. It ain't gonna let me. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. Let's just stop that right now.